please welcome, with his speech entitled Colin, Dave James, ladies and gentlemen!
How many of you have ever been gripped by an emotion so powerful that you can't resist it? How many of you? Think about the tears which roll down your face when you listen to a piece of beautiful music, or if you lose a loved one. Think about that belly laugh that you get when you see someone fall over in public in front of you, and when they hit the ground, they let off a little fart. Think about being in a stadium with 60,000 people, and they all cheer at the same time with absolute joy because your team has just won. Those emotions are absolutely fantastic. But what if the emotion you feel is anger? Suddenly that's not so good. Now, I'll be completely honest with you, I've suffered for many years with the problem with anger. So don't all run out just yet, it's not too bad. We think people's going to run away with that. It would come from nowhere. Bang! It would hit you. You wouldn't know what to do. The adrenaline would rise. Your voice would raise up. You would shout at everything. You'd kick, you'd bang, you'd break things. And then afterwards, your emotion would change. You would shrink down. You'd step back. You'd go and hide away because you were scared that it would happen again. A whole different raft of emotions. And the physical things would always affect me. The cuts, the scratches, probably a few broken bones. But the emotional stuff had a far, much wider range of emotions for people around you. It would hurt people for a lot longer. And this would continue in a sinusoidal, undulating motion for decades with no reason to stop. But despite all of these things around me, there was no need for me to change. There was no stimulus great enough for me to change from that path that I was already on. I believed that it was all to do with the day I was born, or the lineup of the moon and the stars, or just what was happening on a Thursday around the corner. There was no stimulus great enough to make me change. Until my wife threw me out of the house. Can you imagine that? Suddenly the person you'd been married to for about 13 years saying, get out. I've had enough. I've had enough of your anger. I've had enough of your tears. I've had enough of your excuses for why you continue to do it. That's one hell of a wake-up call. Suddenly realizing that you're apart from your family who you love dearly. And basically, your life's over. You're dead. Well, that's what it feels like. But out of this comes something really, really good. And what comes out of it is the fact that it gave me the impetus to change. It gave me the reason to look deep at the problem which was there in front of me all the time. It was me. I was the problem. So I delved very, very deep into my personal development. I put aside my ego. I stopped being an absolute fool just long enough to realize that there was stuff which I could do to make me better. And I looked at the emotions which were there within me and what was causing the problem. I laid myself bare, I talked to professionals, and I came out of it so much better. And I realized quite quickly that all along I had this perception that the only thing I could do in a situation like that was go from the stimulus to the response of anger. But when I looked really, really closely, there was a gap right in the middle. And you can push yourself in that gap. You can make it bigger and bigger and bigger, and you can step into it. And suddenly you have a choice. And it's an amazing feeling to get in there and be able to make a choice. Now, emotions drive us. They inspire us. They bring us closer together. And when you control those emotions, things become so much better. It's an amazing feeling to know that when that happens, you don't have to respond in a predictable way. You can step into the middle of it and you can change things. So I urge all of you, if you're ever in a position where you feel you have no choice, just remember my speech today and think about the fact there is a gap which you can step into and you can make a change. Thank you very much.
Cheers, ladies and gentlemen.
Thanks, mate.